knowledge, artificial neural networks, etc. But these are the things that I've been thinking about and what keeps me up at night. And then also what to look out for, right? We're looking at Halvening 2024 this April. And after every halvening, we see a Bitcoin bull run. We see a whole bunch of projects propagate. But now that AI is hot, we're going to see a lot of AI coins. So we're going to talk about the differentiation between which AI coins really have utility or might have utility, and which ones are just shit coins. And then also, one of the most passionate subjects that I have in AI ML in general is ethical and responsible AI. Ethical AI and responsible AI. So we're going to get into that today. And so one of the major applications for AI in Web3 is the Oracle problem. Issues with data feeds, issues with inaccuracies of the data that oracles get. So at the end of the day, when we talk about trying to prime that data, making sure that data is accurate so the smart contract actually is working off of accurate data, AI does help with that. Also, the privacy piece and the data integrity is very important as well. And so going back to what I was saying about use cases, DAO governance is a major use case, right? Identity, making sure that we stick to the basis of data science, right? We have the relationships between one to many, many to many, et cetera, but you don't want in your DAO for one person to have multiple accounts so they can vote a duplicate amount of time. So ensuring that data and identity verification is on point is very, very needed and necessary. And then also with voting mechanisms as well. And so, funny enough, zero knowledge artificial neural networks is a topic that I was pondering one night, and I was like, why isn't this a thing, right? Why can't we integrate zero knowledge in artificial neural networks? That will fix the training data problem that we have with black box attacks, gray box attacks, and white box attacks. And then, instead of going on Twitter and saying I found out or I created zero knowledge artificial neural networks, I looked it up. And I came across an article by a man named Ross Ulbricht. Some of you all may know Ross Ulbricht was the creator of Silk Road. He is serving a life sentence in prison for his creation of Silk Road, which was a platform that went in straight disarray. And to make his right wrong, he had talked about the censorship problem when it comes to platforms such as WhatsApp, when it comes to platforms such as Telegram. And with that censorship problem, zero knowledge artificial neural networks can support with that. And also when we think about content moderation, content moderators from Facebook to Twitter, et cetera, they have to go through a lot of nefarious, harmful content, whether it be videos, whether it be images of graphic content. And that disproportionately affects people when it comes to mental health. So if we can leverage zero-knowledge artificial neural networks when it comes to the censorship problem on platforms, then we can mitigate those problems when it comes to the human level. And then also, one of the most passionate subsets of this space for me is Web3 security. How we can integrate AI/ML to detect smart contract vulnerabilities, help out the security researchers, the smart contract auditors, so they can focus on the more nefarious bugs and attacks, and those vulnerability detection tools can help us out with time and money. And just the future of smart contract creation too. Oftentimes, we look at projects like ChatGPT and we say, hey, okay, we're gonna use ChatGPT to create a smart contract. Well, I would say, let's hold up on that, because a data scientist, a nefarious hacker can embed and do some data injection in that code that ChatGPT is querying, and you might suffer from a black box attack in the future. And so let me just start off by saying this is not financial advice at all, but AI coins are going to be a topic in the next couple of years. And I want people to kind of understand that not all AI coins are made the same. There are some AI coins that have been propagating before ChatGPT launched in 2022. So they might, in fact, have use case. But I just want people, especially noobs and people who are coming into this space for financial sovereignty, to know that not all AI coins are made the same. And some AI coins actually have utility. Gaming tokens, leveraging AI for tracking on-chain data. data organization, prediction models, markets, et cetera. So going back to what I was saying, we're going to see a lot of AI coins in the next couple of years, especially with the Bitcoin bull run coming up. So I want people to be very, very keen and aware that it's going to happen, and we have to be smart when it comes to doing your own research. And so Web3 security. Here are a couple artificial neural network applications that I've been researching for the past 2 to 3 years. These are applications that can be attributed to phishing, DDoS, et cetera. And so MART2 is one where I've researched where that can be used for prevention of DDoS on blockchains. Tron is a blockchain that had a DDoS problem back around 2014, 2015. And DDoS can render your blockchain useless. So we don't want that when it comes to this space. Self-organizing maps, particularly, can be used for DDoS for L2s. Graph neural networks, degree-free graph convolution neural networks can be used for smart contract vulnerability detection. And then also self-structuring neural networks can be used for preventing phishing. So we've seen in the NFT run, there's been a lot of phishing attacks. When we look at Web 2, 80% of phishing attacks was distributed through email. When we look at Web 3, particularly in NFTs, the metric is similar, but it's not through email, it's through Discord. It's through Twitter. So these are some neural network applications that we can use. And pivoting from that, I just want to say that the zen of blockchain, the zen of Web 3, we talk about access, we talk about inclusivity, trustless systems, and there's going to be an overlap between AI and Web3 as we venture into this new space after ChatGPT has launched. And what I think about responsible AI is that we as scientists, developers, builders, we have an intrinsic responsibility to ensure that we identify the encoded biases in the algorithms that we create, and we also follow standards and assessments and create those standards and assessments so that we can have that access across the board. And so here's a couple case studies. There's a man named Dwan Buck, and he was put on death row. He was put on death row because a prosecutor in Houston said that because he was black, he was more likely to commit a crime. And that was based off a survey called an LSIR survey that leverages AI and ML. And some of those questions in that LSIR survey are like, how many times have you been pulled over by the police? How many times have you been convicted? Well, that is a direct relationship with racial bias that exists in technology. And so this is an extreme example of how weapons of mass destruction can lead to someone losing their life. Then we'll also talk about the invasive side, the privacy side. Target. There was a data scientist. I was sitting down at his desk, and 2 marketers come up to him and say, hey, man, can you make an algorithm for me to figure out if someone is pregnant or not based upon pieces of text, cookies, right? The things they're looking on at the on their Target website. And he said, sure, I'll make this algorithm. And funny enough, a man one day goes into his home and he sees on the coffee table a magazine, and a Target magazine, and it's directed for his daughter. And his daughter is underage, but he's trying to figure out why is Target sending his daughter a magazine that has baby clothes, that has cotton balls for children. So he contacts Target and says, why are you sending this to my kid? And that's how he found out that his child was pregnant. And then also, recently, we've saw pushback with this. San Francisco has, they put out a bill to try to allow robots to work with police officers. Now, of course, they retracted that. They said that they came to the conclusion that it would disproportionately affect black and brown people. I mean, of course. But this is the direction that we're heading. If we don't slow down when it comes to this innovation with the security assessments and the standards. And so one of my favorite scientists Dr. Timnit Gebru. She was ousted from Google years ago, and she spoke about the existential risks in AI, and people shut her out, and they didn't really listen to what she had to say because of the contentiousness of her being ousted from Google. But now she has an institution called DAR Institute where they're working very hard when it comes to the ethical AI and the responsible AI topic. And she says that scientists are some of the most dangerous people in the world because we have this illusion of objectivity. And so that brings me back to my case and my point. As we galvanize at ETHDenver and we build this tech, we also have to be cognizant of the encoded biases that we may or may not be propagating in our technology and in our creations. And so here are some book recommendations and also a Netflix series that I really liked, Coded Bias. If you guys have time or you guys are coding tonight, check out Coded Bias on Netflix. It's created by Dr. Joy, who is the next woman on the for this next book, Unmasking AI. She just launched that book, and I think it's super excellent. Also, Weapons of Math Destruction by Kathy O'Neill, Dr. Kathy O'Neill. She actually talks about the overlap, a little bit of the overlap of why we even exist in this space as crypto. She talks about the global financial crisis and how we had leveraged these machine learning algorithms to decide who gets this loan, who gets this house loan, et cetera, and then we see the economy collapse, et cetera. So there is kind of an overlap with the fluctuation of AI propagating and also the creation of our space, which is the crypto blockchain space. And I think that is like one of my most favorite books when it comes to ethical AI. And also, Wired, they have this magazine talking about Timnit Gebru's story. And I definitely think that everyone should pick this up, find a PDF version, et cetera. But we are here in the future of how AI is integrated with a plethora of technologies, thanks to ChatGPT and the hype between large language models. Thank you all very much. My name is Jasmine Brunson. I also go by Bubbly Orca, and I appreciate you all for listening to my talk. Remember, don't get wrecked, get rectified.